Hello, I'm Dr. Eve. Welcome to the Sexual Health Center. There was some recent research that came out around condom-associated erection problems. I was pretty fascinated with that because what the research was saying is that people develop erection problems once they put on a condom. Now, that takes my mind to further thoughts around what happens when we don't use condoms. Interesting that erection problems would result, and that would mean that people would not want to use condoms because they don't want to lose their erections. But there are other consequences to not using condoms, which we're all very familiar with. And I know I talk about this a lot, but hey, we got to know the stuff around sexually transmitted infections. HIV is a sexually transmitted infection, but I really want you to think about sexually transmitted infections because they're way more common than HIV. You've got the bacterias, the gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, those are real common and they're so treatable. You've got the viruses, which is HSV, herpes simplex virus, and the biggie, which is human papillomavirus. They are not curable, but they certainly are treatable. It's so difficult to know that you have one of those STIs and to insist on a condom, to negotiate around using a condom when you know that you're sitting with an STI, or do you know you have an STI? I mean, that's really the question. Have you ever tested for one? What I like is if you're getting into a new relationship, the two of you should trot along together to your local clinic and do a baseline of STI screening, just your basic ones. Now, who's got herpes simplex virus? Who's got human papillomavirus? Do I have just a touch of chlamydia right now? What do I have? What do you have? So you begin a relationship on neutral sexual health territory. Because the thing that really trips people up and why they don't disclose is because they blame each other. It then ends up that she or he becomes symptomatic and they say, who have you been with? You've been cheating on me. And it really isn't always like that. It could very well be that he or she, you, have been asymptomatic, carrying this virus, this bacteria for a very long time, and suddenly have a stressor, a trigger event happen that gets a symptom to appear, but you're going to turn to the person who you last had sex with and you're going to say, you're the one who gave it to me. And that then rolls into incredible conflict, dis-ease, relationship distress, relationship breakdown. And we anticipate all of this. And because of that, we don't put on the condom and we don't disclose our status. I really, really recommend, as part of human rights, as part of sexual rights and sexual health, that you think about your STIs without fear. This is not about shame. This is about sex and good stuff and fun. And yes, most people are irresponsible and don't use a condom, and most people just want to have some fun. That doesn't mean that you don't deserve sexual health. I urge you to consult your doctor or a clinic about your STI status. Find me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter.